So the 76ers just hired Daryl Morey as their new head of basketball operations, or whatever his title is. And while I'm a little late on the video, I do want to talk about the several implications this might have for the front office as well as the team. I think we can talk about the obvious thing first, and that's the duo of Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid. I can say confidently that neither will be traded this year because they are an extremely talented duo who definitely have a lot of potential. It's the roster around them that needs work. If you want to tell me that they'll be on different teams in like 2 years, I'd believe it. But I think you've got to give it a year with the new staff. Speaking of, they have several notable additions to their coaching staff. They hired Doc Rivers as their new head coach, who is supposed to be able to command the respect of his players and stuff like that. I talked about his fit with Philly in another video, so you can check that out if you want to. The other notable addition is Dave Yeager, who I think is a very good hire. He's a very good X's and O's guy, and I think he could help a lot considering a lot of Doc Rivers' schemes can be pretty basic. Ben Simmons could flourish under Yeager's game planning, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. But let's talk about Daryl Morey now, because I think his hiring is a very good thing for the 76ers. Now keep in mind, Elton Brand is still the general manager at the moment, but all of the final stuff goes through Morey. I don't know how much Morey will be involved in the day-to-day stuff, but I can't imagine he'll have quite a hand in the signings and trades this team makes. And man, that's a great thing. He's not afraid to make moves, and this roster needs that badly. They need to offload Horford, they need to add shooting, they just need a lot of everything. And I think Morey will be more than happy to make said moves. He also won't be as attached to the guys that Brand brought in, which could open up more trade ideas. Maybe Thibault is now going to be available as a trade piece. Maybe he'll be more willing to throw in picks to make moves. You saw with the Chris Paul trade how much he was willing to throw in there. Then he threw in more in order to trade for Russell Westbrook. He was also willing to throw like 4 first-round picks in a trade for Jimmy Butler before he was traded to Philly. If he sees something isn't working, he's going to find a way to improve the team. If he doesn't like the ceiling, he's going to find a way to improve. Since he joined the Rockets in 2007, they've had the second best winning percentage in the league, only behind San Antonio. They also made the playoffs 10 times since his hiring, including 8 straight times. So there's no question about his ability to construct good teams, and with assets like Embiid and Simmons, I have no doubt he'll figure something out, especially if one of them ends up being traded. I think one of the biggest questions people have though is whether or not he's going to attempt another small ball operation and have the team shoot 1,000,000 threes. And what I have to say about that is that he's not the head coach. He had a coach who believed the same thing he did in Mike D'Antoni, and Doc Rivers is not that. There were also rumors that the Clippers coaching staff wasn't listening to what the analytics team Ballmer paid top dollar for was saying. So I'm sure Doc isn't just going to have the team shoot 1,000,000 threes and play small, even if Morey shows them the analytics. They also don't really have the personnel for that, especially with Joel Embiid. I mean, theoretically, you could have Ben at the small ball 5, Tobias at the 4, and figure the rest out. I don't know, Josh Richardson at the small forward, who knows. But with Embiid, it kind of doesn't really make sense, and I don't think Doc would go for something like that anyway. Now, maybe Embiid is traded down the line for a shot creator or something like that, and then we could talk about some small ball. But I doubt that happens anytime soon. As I said, you got to give this team a year. Now, you can ask whether Daryl Morey is going to offload Horford for... The popular trade is Buddy Hield, but I really don't think that's going to be a huge option. It sounds more like Sixers fans just trying to rob Sacramento. But, I mean, basically, Philly is not going to become Houston 2.0. I do think Daryl Morey is going to find more shooting. I think he's going to find playmakers. He's going to find something to improve this roster. And I do think Thibault is going to be on the table. Picks are going to be on the table. Al Horford, I'll be surprised if he is on this team going into next season. I think he's the prime trade candidate. And whether you dump off some picks to get off his contract and maybe get something in return, I think Daryl Morey is okay with that. Elton Brand might be a little hesitant to do something like that just because he's the guy who gave Al Horford a ton of money. But yeah, I don't really have much more to say. We could dive into more potential trades, but that's not really about Daryl Morey, is it? I think he's going to make some gutsy moves and probably throw in some assets people wouldn't expect. And I definitely think Philly will be pretty busy this offseason with Daryl Morey at the helm now. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like and subscribing to the channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. If you didn't like it, leave a dislike. And y'all have a good one.